reason that RAMM got involved in this project is that we've just reopened after major redevelopment. It's almost a totally new museum, but with familiar objects in it. And we wanted to encourage people back in. And one of the groups that we wanted to encourage back in were older people, maybe people who had thought that RAMM wasn't for them anymore, or they'd kind of forgotten it was there, or they simply hadn't visited for a long time. But we were particularly looking at isolated people. The other aspect that we were interested in was wellbeing, which is a term that's creeping up the social agenda quite fast at the moment. But in fact, museums have always been about wellbeing. They've always been about getting out, socialising, learning in a sort of warm and friendly environment, and informal learning. So wellbeing is not new to us, but we really wanted to make the most of that with brand new RAMM. So we were very lucky. We had money from an organisation called MLA to pilot a way of working with older learners, working with the wellbeing agenda, and that's how Culture Cafe came about, which was basically conversation, company, culture and cake, quite a lot of cake. It's turned out to be 6 sessions held in RAMM, with Age UK finding a wonderful audience of about 30 people each time from their clientele. And we've had speakers, 2 for each session, and we've done everything from harvest pots and locally famous artists to Roman soldiers, Elizabethan houses. As long as it's had a connection with RAMM's collections or taking a slant on it, that's what's happened. But the important thing is although it's been talks, we've also had lots of handling collections, and people have been able to pick up things and talk, and that has really spurred conversation and a dynamic that's been really very lively.
I'm completely at ease with it and feel that I'd love to learn more and enjoy more.
What I've found is that by coming here, I've learned about butterflies, but I feel there's still a lot of, at my age, there's still things to be learned. Unless you come out, you don't learn them. You don't know they're there to be learned. When you're sat at home just reading or looking at the television, you don't know what's outside.
I thought it was lovely, and it's enjoyable, a really enjoyable afternoon.
It's been a nice experience, all sitting around a cup of tea and lovely cakes.
Very enjoyable. I met people that I hadn't met before.
I enjoyed every minute of it because I don't get out very often, and it was interesting to listen and to come and feel them birds. I thought that was wonderful because you didn't get a chance to get near them like that.
And they were very good, treating us not as really old people, but as just a bit older than they were. And I thought that was nice.
Now what's that? It's a 5-loaf oven. I'll come back to these in a minute.
What we're hearing from the feedback of people that have been to the sessions is that what they immediately feel is an improved sense of well-being. What we've done in the sessions is managed to do some teaching and some education and stuff, but in an unpatronising way. And so the interactiveness of it and the informality about having people sitting around tables, drinking and eating and chatting with their friends and newfound friends has meant that it's quite unique in that way, and that people are learning but not being talked at. The other really important thing for me, I think, is we've seen people be engaged in purposeful activity. So people have been given handling objects, people have been asked to ask questions, people have been giving lots of feedback about the sessions, and that's another thing that actually, as you're older and retired, you're very often missing out on having purposeful activity that actually challenges your brain but also enables you to kind of interact with other people on a slightly different level.
I think one of the really crucial bits about this project is that we couldn't have done it without each other. Age UK doesn't have access to the speakers and the collections, the museum, that obviously the museum does, and we would never have reached the audience that we managed to so efficiently and effectively without Age UK being able to open the door, because they've acted as a trusted friend before we even started. But I think we can also grow it in different directions as well, and that will happen, as all good projects do, in conversation with our partners, that stood us in good stead for Culture Cafe, and I think it will stand us in excellent stead for wherever we take it in the future.